Yo, what is up, everybody? Welcome back to Tier List Andy. Tonight we're on episode 2, I guess, of the tier list. So, what is happening? Last time we did a tier list was a long time ago. I think actually 4 months ago, which is kind of an insane amount of time. That was right after I think we finished Nisei? Yeah. Right after we finished Nisei, we did do a tier list. And, I mean, we're back at it again because we just finished Koi, end of the second season. That sounds like a good time to do a little benchmark, like where we at. Let's do a little bit of yapping kind of thing. We are probably gonna do at least one more of these. We're definitely gonna do one more character tier list at the end of the run of the show. But as to maybe 1 to 2 more, depending on if there's another good breaking spot. But I don't know, we'll see. As long with, there's also been some talk of maybe doing like an arc tier list or like an OPED tier list, that kind of thing. I feel like those would be best for the end of everything because I don't really see those changing that much. Like once we finish an arc, I feel like we can judge it pretty well. And like while in the grand scheme of things, like more context can kind of fit into slots, I don't think that'll skew things too much for me. So I think we're just going to do normal character tier list for this. I have three in mind, just like last time. First, character tier list, which is the criteria are as follows. Basically, how much did you bring to my enjoyment of the show? How much did you bring to the thematic depth of the show? Yeah, basically that. Like how much content value to the show did you bring? That kind of thing. Then we have a waifu and a best friends tier list. Why is there a waifu and a best friends tier list? That's because there's characters that, like, I don't know, like poor new Machi, or like Hachikuji, or like Shinobu. So a little bit of a distinction, or like Sengoku is like straight up just like a human middle schooler. So you couldn't even like get into weird like, oh vampire, oh ghost, kind of stuff. Like straight up Sengoku, right? Though honestly, like Sengoku as a friend, like you're not gonna make spoilers. I don't think you're gonna be making it that high. We'll see though. We'll see. So before we even get into the tier list though, I do have the Bake Monogatari OST up. I have a playlist of that. I'll try to remember to link that in the description. If not, then feel free to comment and yell at me. And I'll just have that going like a little like blip right here that shows what song I'm on. Sometimes YouTube pauses, like, how like if you let a bunch of videos play in a playlist, it'll randomly be like, oh, are you still here? That's probably going to happen, so it might get thrown off. But point being, though, we'll be ready for that. So I got Yokoku first up, 3, 2, 1, bang. So feel free to, like, listen along. That's just so I get in the Monogatari mood, you know what I'm saying? I do also have the Monogatari tier list from last time. I think we're going to look at that in between each, or maybe at the very end. I don't know. We'll look at that eventually, see kind of where things have changed, because, I don't know, that sounds fun. Whew. We're also drinking a sparkling water fruit punch. Not going to take a sip yet. Okay, patience is a virtue. And, yeah, let me get the, that's me summoning the tier list, hopefully. Hopefully it just appeared right here. Did I, like, shift to the side or like, shift that way? I don't know. It doesn't matter. Okay. So, yeah. At the top, best character, best content, really good, really solid, pretty good, met, and then actively bad, get off my screen. Those are our tiers. Let's start. Looks like Shinobu is up to bat. This is going to be so hard. Shinobu. Shinobu's kind of in a weird spot for me. Because I really like her. Like, she's such a foundation to the show, right? And, like, a constant reminder of everything that happened in Kizu, right? The kind of Kizu traumas, if you want to kind of call it that. A constant, like, slight reminder / pull for Araragi, like, into the kind of suicide realm. And also, I think my favorite part about her character, and it's again an attachment to Araragi, is how, because she's attached to Araragi's, like, life, he has to some degree, take care of himself to also take care of Shinobu, right? Because they have that bond. So, just so many good things, right? Or else, everything goes horribly wrong, right? So, she has a lot of good things in there, but then, like I'm thinking, like, Kiss Shot, I'm thinking, what was it, Oni Monogatari, or, what did we just watch? We just watched Koi. I think it was Oni Monogatari where we got her backstory more with, like, the first minion. Like, I don't know, she's had, like, a couple hitters here and there, but she's never really, I feel like most of her dedicated arcs end up, like, somebody else kind of gets to, like, swoop in. So she's almost, like, well, I feel like Kizu, if anything, was her, like, dedicated arc, but that was so long ago, and, like, so much was going on, right? That's hard to say. I think we're gonna start her in really good, really solid. If best character, best content ends up being too small, if there's not enough people in there, I think she could really easily move up. But I'm comfortable starting her there, especially just because like, get the pieces on the board, right? Get the pieces on the board, then we can actually play the game. Okay, speaking of pieces on the board, Araragi. I think Araragi's actually S tier. I think I've had an awakening into the Araragi character. Literally, he's my only pin. Where's my Araragi pin? Get over here. Okay? Shout out my boy. Wait. Right here. Shout out my boy Araragi pin, okay? Like, there's a reason that I purchased him. Like, because there were a couple people in the stand, okay? There was Senju Gahara, there's Araragi, I forgot who else. Probably Shinobu. I bought Araragi for a reason, okay? Now, and I've said it a handful of times, whenever we've stepped away from Araragi, that just makes me appreciate him so much more. And, like, whenever we've gone different people's perspectives of Araragi, that makes me appreciate him so much more. The Kaiki Araragi connections that we kept trying to draw throughout Koi were, like, so fun to do. Shout out Araragi for that. Trying to figure out, like, what are you hiding from us, right? Why is Ogi specifically attached to Araragi? You know, I feel like Araragi's, like, even in arcs that he's not in, he's still, like, the heart of so much of the show. And originally I was kind of under the impression, like, oh, like, he's like the main narrator, but, like, I don't know, he's kind of, I feel like at the very beginning I thought of him as more shallow, one note with the whole sexual deviancy, blah, blah, blah. That was, like, early Bake, and then probably, like, maybe even through Kizu I kind of held that impression. But, like, as we've gone on, the man's really shaped up, right? Where we've gotten into trying to understand, like, his idea of justice, how that might have, like, burdened him so, you know, the whole desire to die, the desire to self-sacrifice, even if there's no gain from it. What was that, Neko Shiro, or whatever Neko that was? All of that. Just how he's, like, bounces off of every character so much. Like, he's just this unrelenting force, but he also feels like he hates being this unrelenting force in certain ways, and that's causing him such, like, inner turmoil that he kind of wants to die. Or, I mean, the tree thing? Don't even get me started on the tree thing. The tree thing, I don't remember when. I feel like somewhat recently somebody said something about the tree thing, and it just, like, unlocked it for me. Like, in the Discord, maybe? Shout out the Discord. Where it was, like, just the idea that he wanted to be I think it was a light novel chapter or like a page of the novel that I read, where, like, he was talking to Hanakawa, and it was, he wants to be a tree, and she was like, oh, so you still want to be alive, right? But it's just, like, that idea of, like, still alive, but in a state of not doing, you know, like, in such a still and, like thoughtless state of living, where it's almost like you're freed of so many things, but you're still alive. So it's not like he's fundamentally unhappy with the living state, you know? Is this the Hachikuji OP that's playing? That OP was smoking crack. It definitely is. That's funny. But yeah, I just love Araragi. I'm looking over this list, and we got, like, the GOATs incoming. We got, like, Hanakawa, Hachikuji, Kaiki. I mean, even more, right? That, like, really could contest for number one. But, like, I've really grown to like Araragi so much. I don't know. I feel like I've gotten to know him a lot better and understood why, like, to what degree he doesn't want to be known, you know, where he's always trying to deflect and, like, throw like, stuff to distract us. And almost, like, distract himself, you know? I just am such a hoe for it. I'm such a hoe for it. Like, the person he is, like, as soon as the camouflage started to fail, especially when we were starting to get different angles, it's like, damn, you're kind of an you're a fascinating guy, and I feel like you're a good guy. Like, you're a guy I can root for. You're a guy that's, like, struggling and, like, damaged and broken in a couple ways. But, like, you're still somebody that I can respect and can approve of and can really, like, get on your side and root for. So, basically, shout out my boy Araragi at the end of the day, right? Gaen. Gaen's, I don't really get Gaen, I feel like. I don't really get Gaen other than, like, as a, like, some sort of, like, because, like, there's different ways we can view these characters, you know? We can view them as specific tools in another character's story. So, like, within the Araragi meta-narrative, X is X. Within like within Hanakawa's story, Araragi's the hero. You know, within Kamburu's story, Araragi's like the mentor who comes in clutch at the end. Within Araragi's story, Hanakawa has massive honkers, like that kind of thing. So, like, that's one way we can view him, which is really cool. We can kind of view him just kind of as we see him in terms of personality, you know, like whatever different character traits that we enjoy or don't enjoy. We can view him in that way, or we can view him as like a thematic layer of like the themes that them and their arcs bring to the show. So there's like a couple different ways we can approach it, right? Gaen, in terms of being used in people's story, has always kind of had the same condescending like thing. So there's not like a ton to work with there. They are making like some crazy moves with like trying to make originally Shinobu and then Sengoku, but maybe not really, into a god. Because like at this point after Koi, and the idea that she perhaps had planned for Kaiki, like planned for her deal with Kaiki to go the way it did, so that Kaiki would double down, so that Kaiki would actually do the thing, because she actually believed in Kaiki, and it was like I don't know how many layers deep she is in the mental, right? It almost feels like she goes all the way down with the mental puzzling and tricks. So who even knows if she wanted Sengoku to be God or not, right? Because like low-key she could have been on Team Kaiki and just playing Kaiki in the same way that Senjugahara played Kaiki with the note under his door. Because, you know, homegirl knows everything, right? But like, so like, I don't know, it's like, I don't really know what you're up to exactly, because I don't know how many layers deep you are. It's kind of like I don't want to say annoying, because like in the show she's like comes across as condescending on purpose, but it's like I have hope for some crazy juice to come out of her character. But it's just, it almost feels like a Deus Ex thing, like a Deus Ex Machina kind of thing, where it's just like she knows everything, like, oh, she just knows everything, right? Like it's just, you need information, she's got it, right? And so that can feel kind of like weird and shallow. So I'm like really intrigued on like the why and how of that situation. Or another escape from that being an issue is like, okay, what is the thematic representation of her knowing everything in her character as a whole? The only like idea I really have had like a happy spot with is she stands as some sort of like non-stunted or adult like parent, almost parental figure to the other characters that are still kind of going through the process of growing up, whether they're stunted or not. Because, you know, Kaiki's a grown man, but Homeboy's stunted, right? So, like, she almost maybe comes across as, like, this, like, slightly vilified, put-together adult who, oh, she knows everything. Like, my mom knows everything. She kind of knows everything, too, because she's, like, a mother-type figure in that way. And before Gaen is Araragi's mom in disguise as someone else. No, that wouldn't make any sense. Right, because time for the notes. Gaen Izuko. And it's like, yeah, like, she's even got the Gaen name. But, like, oh, shoot. So much stuff is going to make sense in retrospect. Like, all this Komburu stuff is going to make so much more. Like, I feel like they just keep winding up for some crazy Gaen reveal or something. But it hasn't happened yet. Maiden name, Komburu's mother, Komburu's aunt. Yeah, because Gaen's Komburu's aunt. And then Toei is Komburu's mom, who Kaiki loved, right? That's where we're at and all that. Man, I really like Komburu's mom character. After Kaiki's, like, truth spilling of Komburu's mom, of, like, Gaen Toei, saying, like, her, like, hyper-individualistic nature, I'm such a hoe for that. That was so sick. But yeah, she's just hard to rank. I'll put her in pretty good for now. I'm not gonna put her in meh. I feel like some people might be thinking meh. I don't think I can put her in really good, really solid. Not the hiccups, please. I feel like pretty good is good because, like, I feel like they're winding up for something, but she's never really, like, had a moment where she's acted like a character as much as, like, a plot device, for things to be happening, right? And so, but I'm interested in, like, why this character is acting in this way and what that might mean. So, like, I still got Hopium. Is it Hopium, or, you know? I don't know. But, like, she doesn't beat Shinobu, you know? Or, like, she doesn't even come close to, like, Araragi. So, yeah. Senjugahara. My Senjuga-loved. Yeah, I kind of hate her, actually. I kind of hate her. No. I think she's in really good, really solid. Ooh, her fighting with Shinobu's tough. I low-key want to give it to Senju Gahara. So my thing is Senju Gahara. I've never been a fan of, like, overall of the archetype of, like, apathy, emotionless, you know? I like big personalities, I like energy, I like bubbly, you know, or I like shy and timid, you know, that kind of stuff. So, like, apathy just kind of feels like blank to me in a lot of ways. Freaking Ogi. I'm just looking over at Ogi's little face. You know what I'm saying? Sorry, I just love the slap. But yeah. Sorry. Luckin. Senju Gahara. Yeah. So I've never been a fan of that trope that much, right? But of the people I've seen in that trope across, like, all anime, I feel like Senju Gahara's done it, like, the most interestingly and done it the best, or at least the one I've enjoyed the most. Because, like, the apathy is, like, tied into her character with the whole oddity behavior, right? The whole Itagi crab. It was, like, big analogy, the weightlessness, cutting away the emotion, like, all that kind of stuff. So as the arcs have moved on and she's slowly gotten more emotive, like, it really feels like we're seeing that healing process from her from the Hitagi crab issues. So I really like that, right? We're kind of seeing the growth, and it's not like she's just a one-note blink thing the entire time. Her interactions with Araragi, where she's just kind of, like, rolling and smoking him in conversation, have always been fun. The Deneb like, when she went on the date with him in Bake was really good. Man, and I haven't thought about this since I think the Nisei tier list, but the kiss being hidden from us, and, like, there's also been some elaboration I've seen, like, some fun analysis of the Bake ED, where it's like, Araragi and Senjo are doing the rock paper scissors game, but it's like some sort of strip game, and then also the whole, like, treat me, or, like, walk me home gently tonight thing at the end of or, like, at the end of Karen B, I think it was, like, all that kind of stuff being things that are, like, were not shown but is happening between Araragi and Senjo is, like, I'm such a hoe for that. I think that's such a fun way to tell a story, because it's like, Araragi doesn't want to spill his, like, his, like, real and true intimate feelings with this girl to us, right? Like, he'll sexually harass Hachikuji and he'll tell us about it, because he's, like, I don't know, like, we could get into that. We'll wait till we get to Hachikuji. But when it comes to the actual, like, true intimacy that he feels with Senju Gahara, like, he hides that. And that's so much telling. So much more telling, right? You know? And it's not like he's lying by omission, because he's not really lying to us. It's just, like, it's not something that we need to know, you know? Like, that's something for Araragi and Senju Gahara to do between the two of them, because it's a very private and very, like, intimate thing, right? So as an audience member, I kind of like how it's not my place, right? I like the story telling me, no, you don't need that, right? That's just cool. So I really like Senjo for those reasons. Her interactions with Kaiki were honestly, like, S tier. Her little winter outfit was adorable. All that kind of stuff. Oh, also random shout out for I think it was MXK blah, 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 from the Discord for making this, so I can't really tell on this site. But yeah, thank you for whoever made the the Pink Cube Season 2 tier list, pogged, by the way, so I avoid spoilers. Back to it. Yeah, so Senju Gahara, like, her interactions with Kaiki were really fun. Seeing her, like, go to the bathroom to cry was, like, really sweet and really touching. Her just, like, hard shutting Kaiki down, and Kaiki even accepting it with, like, breaking the phone chip is just, I mean, that just punches you right in the gut, right? So, like, I almost want to slip her into best character, best content, but I think she's more of a champion of really good, really solid. I think she beats Shinobu. 'Cause, like, yeah. I do really like Shinobu, and her attachments to Araragi, but I feel like Senjo just has more going on, right? And then there's Karen getting her teeth brushed. Oh boy, where do I put Karen and Tsukihi? Tsukihi's down the line, but where do I put these two? Let's just Karen. Fire Sister A. The thing with freaking Renai circulation's playing, bro. Oh, let me rank Sengoku instead. No. Karen. Sengoku. Also, by the way, the manga, the thing in her closet, when people are telling me like, oh, the thing in the closet, is the only place we've seen that, the OP, that where she's writing. I thought she was writing like school notes. Is that what y'all are talking? That's crazy to me. All right, sorry, just the music playing reminded me. Karen, focus. Stop getting your teeth brushed. Karen, I think, is a pretty good. I don't think she can get into the same tier as Shinobu and Senjugahara. She's really just, like, she had Karen B, and she's kind of shown up here and there a little bit, right? With, like, the Hanakawa arc, where she was there for a minute. That kind of stuff. So she hasn't had, like, a ton of screen time compared to these other characters. And then within Karen B, I mean, if anything, she's really just... I feel like the most interesting thing about her is how she's emulating, like, a younger Araragi. And so the way Araragi treats her is almost like a way that he sees his past self, I would argue. With, like, the whole Karen, Fire Sister, Justice. Araragi used to, in some way, be a champion of justice, I would say. Yeah, like, we've been told that, right? And so that has led to, like, some interesting, like, developments. But, like, I mean, that's kind of, like, a theme with a lot of these characters. I feel like so much of them are tight. Well, never mind. I was about to say something about them being tied to Araragi. Like, if they're not something on their own, then they kind of lose value. But then we have Hachikuji, who's, like, so independently tied to Araragi, and then is also, like, a goat. So, I'll pause on that. But yeah, okay. Let's think Karen versus Gaon. I almost want to give it to Gaon. Is that wrong of me? And, like, I mean, Karen having her moment with Araragi where they, like, hugged after their fight was so sweet. But, like, Karen does feel a little one note, I guess, where we haven't really seen, like, a ton of her personality other than, like, Toothbrush plus Justice, and, like, the fiery spirit. So in that way, I feel like there's, like, not a ton to dig into. There's a lot to dig into within that, but, like, it doesn't cover as much ground. The net's not quite as wide. And, comparing to Gaon's hard because Gaon, like, hasn't had, like, much of those thematic, like, punches at all. And has more so been used as a tool for plot and for, like, within the arcs, right? Has also been used as a tool by the different characters. Whether they, like, want to admit it or not. The reason I almost want to keep Gaon, though, is I feel like Gaon is, like, such a big part of, like, the things that are going on behind the scenes. Which just gave me flashbacks to Hachikuji's description of oddities. Like, didn't she say, like, in, what was it, like, Nisei 2 or something? Where, like, oddities are the supernatural is what occurs behind the curtains, and you don't need to look back there most of the time. She feels like an oddity within the oddities, bro. She feels like the one pulling the strings in the show about what's behind the scenes, right? So that's crazy. That's just crazy. Fundamentally, that sounds so cool. But I feel like we just haven't seen her used yet, like, in the way that she could be. I feel like they're rearing up for a home run. Like, we're doing all this stuff with Gaon, Toei, and Kaiki, right? And, like, his attachment to Kombaru, like, that's been such a big thing, Hana, like, with whatever. So, like, Gaon Izuku's around, but we haven't really, like, how does she connect to the Toei stuff, right? Which was, like, a big deal with Numachi, was a big deal with Kombaru, which was a big deal with Kaiki, which, etc., right? And then Kaiki, obviously, is a big part of a lot of things. So, like, that connection feels like there's something there, we just don't know it yet. And then it almost feels like she's in a war. Like, one thing I thought about when I was thinking about Ogi is, like, dude, she's, like, straight up, Gaon and Ogi, are they just in a war right now? Have they been behind the scenes in a war, making moves? Freaking Ogi. You're punishing liars. You little liar punisher. And that's why you sent the guy to go clobber Kaiki. Shout out, Kaiki's probably fine, by the way. Somebody made a good point in one of the comments that I read. I didn't read all of them yet, because I'm saving that for the, when we start the next arc, right? Because this is, obviously. But, like, Kaiki definitely, like, he probably just faked his own death, right? Literally told us, oh, I'm dying. But, like, he told us at the beginning of the story that he was gonna lie to us, so that could have just been a lie. I thought that was funny. Where, like, actually he, like, scared off the kid, or, I don't know, got hit but was fine. Who knows? Away from that, though, it's crazy. I'm trying to rank Karen compared to Gon, and now I'm talking about Ogi and Kaiki. I'm gonna keep doing it. Like, I feel like Ogi has said that their job is to punish liars, right? The darkness was a job, had its job to hurt, or to, like, disrupt oddities. I don't say hurt, like, I say disrupt because it was so weird where, like, Kishot was getting the people taken away instead of, like, immediately targeted. But the darkness in, Koi, or in Oni, the point was, like, if you're not doing your role, you get hoed. And it almost feels like Ogi is trying to hoe people in some way to that. Wait, let me think. Frick it. Ogi. Put you in the front. You want to get rid of liars. Kaiki was lying. He's a liar. He's a con man. And so you hurt him. You sent the kid to go attack him, right? Because Ogi said that Kaiki would be here or something. Ogi also got mad amounts of knowledge. Like, what are you, like, Gaen's other half or something crazy? Like, who knows? And then just your design is so specifically bland that, like, you either look like some sort of weird oddity or, like, you look like an oddity, girl, boy, freaking Ogi. You look like an oddity. So you want to punish liars. The darkness punished people that acted different than themselves. The thing that, like, I'm kind of thinking is crazy is, like, Kaiki with his conversation with Ononoki. I'm just putting these guys at the front. It was like Ononoki was telling Kaiki that Gon was worried that Kaiki was going to act, like, out of character in such a way that would hurt him, right? And so it was like Kaiki's fake persona, or, like, somewhat fake persona, that he's put forth, the conman persona, like, acting in a way that doesn't fit that persona. That dissonance was where the issues would arise, right? And whether Gon was actually worried about that or was just using that as a way to provoke Kaiki to do what needed to be done, who knows? I mean, she knows because she knows everything, right? But that's to be figured out. Ononoki, and by Ononoki I mean Ogi. Ogi didn't like Kaiki for what? For being a con man? Or for post-Sengoku having acted his true self, which was different than the persona he had took on? I mean, it was for... Ogi doesn't like liars. Ogi's job is to deal with liars, right? That's what they told Araragi. Loki might have to rewatch that scene. And so... I don't even know. Get down the line. Gon, you beat Karen because you got a bunch of you led me on a tangent with Ogi, and I feel like there's a lot to be untapped there. So I'm gonna give you benefit of the future untapped juice and let you win there. Okay, Sengoku. Let me put my notes down so I can. Okay, Sengoku. Best character, best content. Sengoku. Sengoku is hard to rank. Sengoku's just kind of the worst in a couple ways, where, like, her being all cutesy, like, can come across as just, like, so grating, which is kind of the point, I guess. But, like, you know, in her, like, unhealthy attachment to Araragi was, like, kind of, like, not very endearing, I would say. Was more so, like, eye roll a little bit. But that's coming down to, like, my personal, I feel like, how much I like Sengoku personally. In terms of, like, adding to the story, like, Homegirl did... I almost feel like she beats Gon, right? She easily beats Gon. Homegirl did, like, create a ton of situation, right? Like, the whole Snake God, gotta get Kaiki to deal with that, you know, all that kind of stuff. All of Atoria. Atoria was a pretty solid arc, and that was, you know, obviously a Sengoku arc, so I gotta appreciate that. Maybe you're, like, bottom of really good, really solid. I feel like she might be bottom of this tier. Just because, but, like... Because, I mean, that Kaiki conversation, where it really came down to her just being so embarrassed about, like, the art of creativity and, like, her manga stuff. Like, and she was, you know, projecting a lot of the whatever feelings from, like, the characters within that onto, like, Araragi or whatever other people. Like, that's such a... I don't know, that's such a, like, a childlike... And I say childlike in reference to the theme of growing up, right? That's such a, like, a young feeling. you know, of like being embarrassed about creativity and be like, oh, I drew this, but I don't want to show anybody. Like that's so on the nose for the themes. And then that led to like the Kaiki conversation, which was my favorite Kaiki moment period, was his conversation with Sengoku. I mean, that was really good. Man, when he started talking about the creativity is always an embarrassing process or whatever, like that got me right in the heart, right? And so just as a vessel for Kaiki, Sengoku is like really solid. And I feel like her character does latch on to like some of the core of Monogatari, which is she wasn't necessarily a malicious, stuck in love girl as much as she was fiercely embarrassed and was tied to these things put on her by her parents that, I mean, contrast that to Araragi, right? Put on by the parents, justice, cop parents onto Araragi, fire sisters, etc. So, I mean, that's even a fun connection. I've talked about that, I think, before. There's cooking to be done. In terms of, like, her being a snake god and being all, like, cutesy or whatever, like, I could hit her with a car and feel okay. But in terms of, like, the thematic stuff that she brought to the table, I think I can give her a spot here. Maybe she'll drop, because I don't like her being next to Shinobu. That feels a little wrong. But I don't know. We'll see. Episode. I mean, is that the easiest meh of my life or what? Like, I like, actively bad get off my screen is for, like, Guillotine Cutter and, like, Dramaturgy, who, like, aren't even here because, I mean, they're in the same spot they were in last time because they haven't been in the episodes at all. Shout out Episode. The thing with Episode, the only reason, like, I wouldn't even put him here and, like, and I'm willing to give him a little bit of benefit is I feel like his character could be, like, a fun lesson on perspective, in that when we met him with Araragi, he was just such a dick. He was such a dick. Collateral damaging Hanakawa and all that, and just the way he acted. But I feel like he was more tolerable later when we met him alongside, when Hanakawa met him and Gaen. And so I'm willing to, like, I don't know. I'm willing to see what they want to do with him. I feel like they could make him into an interesting character pretty easily because Araragi, like with Araragi not necessarily narrating, or even with him narrating now that he's later into the story, like, Episode could turn into some content. But yeah, I mean, that's a pretty easy meh, is it not? Adult Hachikuji. Let's do Hachikuji as a whole right now, because these two are obviously quite aligned. Oh wait, Higasa, meh. Literally, like, more meh than Episode. Left is better than right, you know? Higasa, literally, I know your name. You were in, like, 2 scenes in Hana, like, randomly. That's all you were good for. Sorry, it is what it is. You said something about Ogi, you little rat. Okay. Hachikuji, 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 Hachikuji. Hachikuji, what kind of distinction should be made between adult Hachikuji and young like, normal Hachikuji? Adult Hachikuji's fun because adult Hachikuji is a manifestation of basically a manifestation of Araragi's cope, that his inner child could grow up with him without being destroyed. Right? That's what I would say adult Hachikuji is. So, like, conceptually, that's pretty sick, right? The idea of, like, a doomed inner child growing up, right? That the inner child can't grow up, so any situation where the inner child has grown up is a doomed situation. I mean, maybe that's even to say that Hachikuji growing up with, like, as an adult would, like, mean the inner child has, like, stuck with you into adulthood, which is a form of stagnation which destroys the world, right? Destroys yourself. I don't know. You can maybe make some sort of play there. So in that way, like, I'm down, and I like those ideas a lot. But it's cope. It's something that Araragi and Shinobu concocted, period, right? So in that way, like, I kind of want to do, like, a pretty good, probably right above Gaen, for adult Hachikuji, but that is distinct from normal Hachikuji, who's easily an S tier character. That's my girl right there, right? I mean, the only... Am I willing to say this? I'm not willing to say this, no. One of the two very one one of the two like most impacting emotional moments. Well, okay, I'm getting lost in my words. Lost in the sauce. I'm looking at Numachi's face. Both of them died. That's my point, right? Or both of them were dead and then moved on. You could say. So both of those hit really hard for Hachikuji and Numachi, right? Man, Numachi, the Kombaru scene of Kombaru running after learning the truth of Numachi, that's still like maybe like that's like one of I almost want to say that's the most emotion that the show's ever gotten out of me. Well, but then the end of Tsubasa Tiger as well, with Hanakawa with the tiger stripe hair and her talking about herself. Like, I could feel the emotion welling in my chest just thinking about that as well. Maybe my two best scenes in the entire... Well, but then Kaiki talking with Sengoku. Oh! Okay. Hachikuji. Yeah, she beats these three for sure. I'm sorry, Sentokuhara. I'm sorry, Shinobu. I'm sorry, Sengoku. Hachikuji sweeps. The inner child is such a perfect theme. It's so good for the... her character as a whole, Hachikuji's character as a whole, is like such a hits the nail on the head for so many of the themes of the show. And I just like her, like, she's fun. She's just a fun character to like have around, right? Like, I like the way she talks, I like the way she thinks, you know, her like rant, like her metaphors and analogies like hit really hard. And I like, man, and when I rewatched her Nisei talk about like not leaving Araragi in context of after she had died, I mean, that foreshadowing is like so good. Yeah. So what was I saying though? Yeah, for the themes she hits the nail on the head for, it's like growing up with the inner child, having to say goodbye to your child as you grow up. I mean, that's just like beautiful. That's one of the best, you know, that's so perfect for the growing up tale of Monogatari. And what else? I had another one. I'm forgetting it. I just love Hachikuji. Her jumping on the squares, bro. Her jumping on the cubes, the pink cubes. What a wonderful experience that was in that one OP. You know what I mean? Yeah, that was so fun. Her kiss with Araragi was like so. It's crazy. It's crazy. I really feel like I'm getting sent down the Monogatari pipeline. In that at the very beginning of the show, you know, we see Hanakawa's panties, and I'm like, whoa, panties! But then, like, and then it keeps going. It's like, oh, now Sengoku's got a snake down her throat. And then it keeps going. It's like, oh, now, Kiss Shot has massive honker physics, and Hanakawa has massive honker physics, and Kiss Shot's now like a little girl, and we're like randomly like seeing like her getting sexualized, and like that stuff was like throwing me off so much, which I still stand by that. Like that, you know, some of that stuff, like, I'm not mad at myself for getting thrown off by that, but like. So, but my point is, now that we've gotten to the point where, like, I feel like seeing Hachikuji kiss Araragi, and obviously it's like, I mean, she's like a kid in a lot of ways, but it doesn't even feel like that anymore, you know? It feels like something so much more important than any sort of sexual or romantic attraction, you know? It feels like so much more intimate into, like, it really just feels like, and I've said this, I don't know if I said this in a video or in the Discord, but it feels like Araragi kissing his inner child goodbye. Araragi kissing his inner child goodbye. And that's like what a beautiful like metaphor for Hachikuji to be leaving. What a beautiful like metaphor for growing up, right? So that really like was one of the sweetest and like, I don't know, I almost said most beautiful, but I'm trying to find a better word. Sweet. I mean, sweet's just such a good word. Like, intimate, but not in a romantic or sexual way, but just in, like, a person way, in, like, an understanding way. Just one of the most scenes of the show, if not the most, right? I mean, it just really hit. And so it's just crazy to me. Like, I feel like once you can get on Monogatari's wavelength, like the show, and you can kind of understand why it's using what it's using, and when it's using it in certain ways, like, reading it in that way makes me so much more like appreciative of it as a whole, instead of like weirded out or grossed out by it. But I still totally understand people that would be apprehensive towards the show, because it do be getting kind of spicy. I mean, shout out Karen getting her teeth brushed. I mean, she's right there on the screen, you know. But I just love Hachikuji. Hachikuji versus Araragi is really hard. Oh, jeez. Like, it's gotta be Hachikuji, right? I think. The thing with Araragi is he's pending in so many ways, right? Like, Hachikuji's gotten her full arc, with, meeting Araragi, and, like, how she gets used as, like, a distraction for Araragi's problems is so funny, and so, like, on the nose for, like, how the show... That's the other theme that I was thinking about with her character. The theme of, like, the show distracting us and, like, throwing smoke in our face. Like, Hachikuji is that, right? Araragi uses Hachikuji as a way to distract the audience and even distract the other oddities, the other characters or whatever, from whatever he's dealing with to, like, cope with his situation. He'll, like, start playing with his inner child instead, right? Which is just so funny to me, and so on the nose for, like, how Monogatari works as a show. So I really appreciate her in that way. I think I can give it to Hachikuji over Araragi. I think once we hit the end of the show, and hopefully have a deeper understanding of Araragi, what's Araragi's past, Araragi's parents, his relationship to them, where Araragi's going as a character, because I do see him growing. I feel like I read one time that somebody said that Araragi was a character who never really grew. I read that, like, out of context when I started Bake, I think. And I don't even remember where I read that. But that idea has always been something in my head that I've been like, surely that's wrong. Like, surely he's growing. Yeah. So I just really want to see where Araragi continues to go. Because it has been very subtle. Like, the changes are subtle. And he does feel stuck in a lot of ways, but he also feels like someone that's fiercely fighting to get himself unstuck, or rather is fiercely fighting for other people, and in doing so, and in understanding other people, and understanding himself through other people, is getting himself unstuck. So I don't know. I love Araragi. But Hachikuji's got a complete character arc, and so in that way, I'm going to give her the dub over Araragi, because most of Araragi is still pending, so I don't know if it's going to have a satisfying conclusion on a lot of his stuff. Whereas Hachikuji's conclusion was very satisfying to her character and very touching. Man, and that one translating her line as, like, I bit your tongue after their kiss. Like, that's such a good translation. As somebody, like, mentioned that could have been a translation once. I love Hachikuji. Numachi. I think Numachi is slept on. I don't even know the Monogatari culture as a whole. I don't know what characters are liked or disliked that well. I know a lot of people, like, maybe fanboy over Kaiki. I could totally see that. Etc. I feel like Numachi's slept on. And I don't even know if she is or not. But I just feel like she is. And maybe it's just her personality. Her personality is so, like, interesting to me. And, like... Oh, I think my music paused. There we go. Haikyuu. 3 seconds in. Or wait, 5 seconds in. There. Okay, boom. Yeah, Numachi. I feel like her personality was one that I really, like, I don't know, like, almost innately had a connection with and really appreciated. I remember getting so drawn into her character, which is why... And thinking, like, oh, is she an oddity? Oh, did she and Kamadou used to date? Like, that was so fun to, like, hypothesize about, even so it was completely wrong, right? The whole, like, Numachi Kamadou used to date in the OP. This all happened. We weren't told about it, Like, that was so fun to do. Right? That's one of those examples that I've been talking about in recent episodes of, like, the bad ending or, like, the incorrect hypotheses are sometimes so much fun because it's, like, maybe ideas of where the story could have gone or just like, oh, like, that's interesting, Like, I feel like that's kind of where we were at with Numachi's character at the start, which was, I had a really good time doing that, right? Man, I need to rewatch Hana Monogatari. I gotta rewatch Kizu Monogatari. I gotta rewatch Bake Monogatari. But yeah, Numachi. And then, yeah, so, like, it was just, I was so invested in untangling her character. And then, of course, the themes and how her themes tie into the grander, the themes of, like, averting your eyes, running away, like, fake dealing with issues rather than actually dealing with them. Like, she also, like, fleshes those out in a lot of ways. But then, man, that moment where where they're building up to like her being dead, her being revealed as like someone that had killed themselves, right? Because we were thinking, yeah, I mean, there was so much thinking about that, and I remember being so energized, and then it was just like, oh, that's like this girl who I've like gotten to know, and I've actually like really enjoyed her personality, is not only dead but dead in such a tragic way. So that like really emotionally primed me, and like I even, man, like I like Kombu a lot, right? Like, but I feel like before Hana Monogatari, Kombu was one of the weaker ones from Bake. Like she didn't really like click with me super hard. But man, it felt like me and Kombu got to have a bonding experience together in that we both had to like emotionally go through that. And so just as a vessel for like one of my favorite moments in the entire series, that shot of Kombu just running. It's really good. I think she gets going really good, really solid. I low-key want to put her above Sengoku. Ooh, I really almost do. Bro, am I gonna have to start, like, for the final character tier list, am I gonna have to have a box of tissues next to me? That would be crazy. I usually do the weeping off camera. Don't you worry. Don't you worry. Okay. Numachi. Numachi versus Sengoku. Man, I feel like most of like what I've really enjoyed about Sengoku's thing with Kaiki was Kaiki, how that untangled Kaiki, like her like story and character arc of like self deceit, like almost like the whole like unrequited love. Like most of those themes only started to really hit once you compared them to Kaiki because of how similar Kaiki is with the whole Gon situation, right? So in that way, I feel like I don't want to give Sengoku as much credit as I want to give Numachi, because compare that to Numachi, where a lot of what I loved about like Numachi's character and the Numachi moments in Hana Monogatari were like very much complemented by Kombu, sure, but it's not like it's not like Numachi bouncing off of Kombu like was relying on Kombu for being like a good and interesting character. I feel like the emotional impact of understanding Numachi and her story, this poor girl. Wait, I want to look at my old Numachi notes. Yeah. Dang. Sorry, just a trip down memory lane. Yeah, just I feel like Numachi stands on her own stronger than Sengoku stands on her own. Where like I love Kaiki was so dominant, like such a good comparison for Sengoku, and where that so much of that weight came from. Whereas Numachi and Kombu, it was more like me and Kombu were like on the same side as we came to terms with what had happened with Numachi. Really want to rewatch Hana Monogatari. Dang. Oshino. Oshino. Where'd you go? You've just not been in the show for so long. I like don't even remember you that well in a couple ways. I feel, I don't know where you went. I don't know if you're still out here. Like, surely you're making moves in the background somewhere. But, like, I mean, did something good happen? I remember that. I remember you kind of being, like, the introduction into, like, Araragi, into understanding a lot of what's going on and, like, all that. But, like, okay, let's maybe... I mean, he beats Karen. Does he even beat Gon? He's just got so much swag. I almost feel like Gon's doing so much plot movement. I mean, I think I'll give it to Oshino. Maybe Oshino's the top of pretty good. Ooh, a good song's playing. It's the ba-da 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 da 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 da. It's that one. A good song. He doesn't beat Sengoku because I don't know. We haven't had any like big crazy moments with him. I feel like he doesn't. Does he beat Adult Hachikuji? that conceptualization. I feel like not even. I think, you know, I think my issue with Oshino is, I think there could be a lot of like really good thematic weight, which is what's giving a lot of these like higher ranked characters so much of a slam dunk. I think there could be a lot of that to his character, but I just don't know it, right? Like, I wasn't on that wavelength at the start of the show at all, and so I think I definitely could have missed like a lot of really good Oshino stuff, and understanding of like how Oshino works and that kind of stuff. So like on a rewatch, maybe he would hit a lot harder, but at least from memory, like, it wasn't really ever like, I wasn't slam dunking off of Oshino very often, right? He was always just kind of my boy because he was helpful, mentor figure, attractive swag, right? Or as opposed to my new, very deeper appreciation for the show, which is going into all the thematic elements, right? I love this show. Man, at the start, like, I enjoyed the show and I was like interested, but it's gotten so much, like, my experience with the show has improved so much. I feel like the deeper it's gone on, like, the harder it keeps hitting, you know? The more it, like, all starts to come together, which is just so fun. Does he beat Adult Hachikuji? I think no. Well, maybe. At least he's like a full character, where Adult Hachikuji is just cope, I feel like. I'll give him the win to Gaon, because I do think he's out making moves. And that's a lot of what I was talking about with Gaon. I'll give him the win on Adult Hachikuji, I think, too, because Adult Hachikuji really is just a subset of Hachikuji, and so it's almost hard. I almost don't even know if they, you know, I think they're fair as a separate character, but like in a way, it's almost like I wouldn't even want to like do it. But no, I think it's fair to put in. So yeah, did something good happen? And like those themes of like helping yourself, I do really appreciate. But like how it came from the within kind of thing. But yeah, Kaiki. He's S tier. It's just a question of how deep into S tier is he. It's gonna be hard. Kaiki. Do I even need to describe why I love Kaiki? Dude, Kaiki in the last arc, like, I think in terms of pound for pound, the last arc was maybe not the best, but definitely top 3, you know? And it was a Kaiki arc, but like, you know? Yeah. And so that obviously is a big push, because I don't want to say the best, because we got Tsubasa Tiger, and I feel like that's a good contester for the best as well. Man, it's gonna be so hard to rank these one day if I end up doing that. But yeah, like Kaiki, I mean, con man, fake persona, stunted Araragi, you know, the Araragi bad ending, connection to Senjugahara, moving on and becoming a memory, just like he told Araragi to do with Sengoku. You know, he did that himself with Senjugahara, in a way, right? His deceiving, somewhat coming from a good space, but somewhat also maybe being an inner rationalization for this persona he's put forth, his genuine self coming through, his attachments to Gon and how they bounce off of Sengoku. I mean, all of them are just so good. Like, I almost want to even do that. I almost even want to do this. Like, almost. Like, give Kaiki number 1. Oh, jeez. Kaiki versus Araragi is so hard. Because, like, there's so much of what I loved about Kaiki was how it made me rethink Araragi, right? Man, Araragi is such an interesting... He's such a question mark of a character, right? Where it's so much guesswork for how he is in a lot of ways. And, like, there's a fun detail, or a fun thing, where, like, somebody shared in the Discord the promotional, like, one of the first promotional videos for Monogatari, which was, like, the first teaser for Araragi, like, what Araragi would look like. And I think the shot was him catching Senjugahara. And that made me realize that in the light novel, and I think this was told to me, that in the light novels, Araragi was never shown. He was never, like, pictured. And, like, that, I mean, if that doesn't say it, then nothing does, right? Where the things that are hidden from us, specifically with Araragi, are just so, like, important and, like, foundational to the nature of the story. And so him doing that, and I mean Kaiki's out here doing the same thing, but he's telling us about it, right? Where he's saying that, oh, I'm about to lie to you, man, and I hope you're ready. Yeah. It's just like I almost want to see, man, but then now I'm thinking of Araragi like in that one, like what was it, Nekoshiro or Nekokuro or whatever, where he was the holster for the sword when Tsubasa Cat just go through it, you know, Black Hanakawa cut through it, and he got cut in half because he wanted to die for her so much, or to the point of just wanting to die even if it's useless. I just have so many questions with Araragi, and I feel like I have so many more answers with Hachikuji and Kaiki. And I love questioning, but a satisfying answer I think is always better than an open-ended question. Not always, but is in these cases, like a very satisfying answer has been so good with Kaiki and Hachikuji, especially because we were on Kaiki, right? Him, and I said this really recently, him and Ononoki talking, that whole thing of like, the crazy part isn't the information, the crazy part is that Kaiki's having to deal with the information. Because this information, oh, we knew this was coming. Like, we've been digging into Kaiki, you know, Hana kind of let us know. And so for it to not be, like, a reveal as much as it's a, oh, shit, like, we gotta figure this out now. Like, oh, we actually have to deal with the problem that we haven't been dealing with. That was super juicy. And so I'm, like, thinking of, like, every scene with Araragi. I also just love saying his name, Araragi. Has he ever been said like that? When did that start happening? Araragi. Nah. Araragi. My boy. My king. It sucks. This sucks. It's like, I think Araragi is the heart of Monogatari. Right? In a lot of ways. I think Hachikuji, what has made Hachikuji so powerful in my mind is that she's emulated some of my favorite themes about Monogatari, and has been fun, and has been very important to her, tied to Araragi and getting Araragi development, and more, right? Just her general personality is fun. And so, and then Araragi on the main hand also like shares, like, I mean, he's the heart of it in so many ways. Just like Hachikuji is the heart of like a lot of those really important themes. And then Kaiki out here, I mean, Kaiki's like the shadow, or like the like Kaiki, like Araragi is, man, I almost said like a shade of black and a shade of white paint, how they give contrast to each other, but it's more so a Venn diagram where it's like a gradient, two gradient Venn diagrams, where it's like we have the Kaiki Venn diagram and the Araragi Venn diagram, but in the middle they're both the exact same color, so we can't really tell where the line is that the intersection is, you know, but they're also different things. And so seeing not only how they differ but how they connect has been like I want to just take that and just chew on it, right? So who do I give second place right now? It's tough. It's really tough. Is Kaiki gonna keep coming back? Like, what else could Kaiki do? Like, what? I feel like it's the same thing with Hachikuji, where, dang it, okay, what I'm stuck between is Kaiki feels like he's in a very, like, he's kind of completed a character arc with, you know, breaking his thing with Senjugahara and verbalizing a lot of these Gaon things through his interactions with Sengoku, and so that was immensely satisfying, and I feel like whenever something happens to that same degree with Araragi, I feel like it's going to be more satisfying, potentially, right? Where the Araragi end point, or at least a like large character moment of progress for Araragi, is going to hit like immaculately. So I'm having to weigh the product of Kaiki's character versus the potential of, I think, where Araragi can go. And while I think Araragi's potential is even higher than Kaiki, Kaiki's actually guaranteed. So I think I'm going to give Kaiki the win. Also, Kaiki's personality is so funny. His interactions with Senjugahara were, like, one of the best, like, duo conversations in the show, I feel like. And him just, he's just kind of a Sigma male, right? Con children, puts on the shades, and gets on a luxury class airplane. Easy clap. So yeah, I'm gonna give it to Kaiki, but nobody should be sleeping on Araragi, because I think by the end of the show, there's a good chance that Araragi takes the win, even over Hachikuji and definitely over Kaiki. I think that's a good chance. But for now, we will wait. Ononoki. Oh no. Someone's about to get mad. Where do I put this girl? Ononoki's just such a puppet, right? She's just... And I guess she's, like, kind of doing her own thing a lot of the time, but... She's kind of that same thing I was complaining about with Senju Gohara, but, like, with the whole, like, blank slate, like, small personality thing, where she just has such little personality, and, like, her lack of personality, like, is her personality. And that's just, like, not very pogged for me. That's just straight up personal taste diff. And in terms of, like, content for the story, I don't know. I either want to say at the bottom of really good, really solid, or at the top of pretty good. It's really tough, because, like, I don't feel like Ononoki and, like, Senju Gohara, like, Senju Gohara sweeps that. Ononoki and Shinobu sweeps that right now. Numachi and Ononoki, I just gotta give it to Numachi. I think I might, like, Numachi hit, like, a special place in my experience, so, like, you know, maybe that's not a popular take, but that's definitely where I'm at. And then Sengoku versus Ononoki. Sengoku just did so much good content, like, plot stuff. And, like, Ononoki's conversation with Kaiki, I feel like was, like, one of the first Ononoki conversations that I was like, oh, this is fire. Oh, this is heat, you know? But really, like, Gaon could have been the one saying it, right? Like, the Ononoki's flavoring of that conversation wasn't necessarily what made it so good, as much as it was the topic of the conversation being what it was. Like, Ononoki versus Oshino? You know, it's tough. It's tough. Is my fan on? It is on. It's getting hot in here, bro, and we're not even on the waifu part. Because, like, I just never... Like, Ononoki hasn't really been doing it for me that much. Peace. You know what I mean? And, like, I'm fine with her. It's not like she's actively bad. It's not like she's episode tier. Like, she beats Karen, she beats Gaon, she beats adult Hachikuji. I think she can beat Oshino, but I think she stops after Oshino. I don't think she beats Sengoku. And so, she's straddling this line. I'm going to keep her in pretty good for now. Maybe I'll have her move up if it starts to, like, way weird. We'll see. Oh, frick. Ogi's next? What do I do with you, Ogi? The Ogster. Punish liars. You don't like liars. That's your job. Kaiki. Sending the kid on Kaiki. Maybe some sort of oddity. Maybe some sort of, I don't know. You're so weird to me. You're pulling so many strings. You're pulling so many strings, Ogi. You're such a black hole to me. Where and it's killing me. It's killing me. Ogi's character is killing me, man. Like, you're an antagonist. You're a problem. You're gonna have to be dealt with. I don't know who's gonna deal with you. I don't know when they're gonna deal with you. I don't even know if they're going to deal with you, but you gotta be dealt with, right? Whether it's gonna be a direct confrontation or if it's going to be like some sort of Gaon is trying to do some crazy plan and Ogi's downfall is part of that plan, and so it's more of like a puzzle piece victory as opposed to like an actual like duel of immediate themes. I don't know. But Ogi's gonna have to be dealt with at some point, right? Because, like, getting Kanbaru and Hanakawa, doing Sengoku stuff. Did Gaon want Sengoku to stop being a god and manipulated Kaiki? Is that the case? I think it very well could be, but I don't know. I mean, because Kaiki brings it up as a hypothetical. Because, like, why that's so important to me is, like, I'm trying to figure out if Gaon, like, what the relation is between Gaon and freaking Ogi, right? Because I feel like that could be so interesting. It's also like Ogi Aragi. I mean, shoot, even look at the way they look at, like, right? Like, they kind of, I guess a lot of characters have this, like, spiky hair thing, but, like, their hair color, your empty little face, Eunice Pretender. You don't even look like Oshino at all, bro. Oshino's blonde. You're not even a good liar. And if you hate liars, then why are you lying? If your job is to deal with liars, why are you lying? Are you the manifestation of Satan? Or are you, like, the manifestation of... What are you? I'm gonna lose it. I feel like I can put them in really good, really solid... Like, they beat Ononoki. Frick, I mean... Ogi Sweep? The rare Ogi Sweep? You beat Sengoku. Because you're so... I know it's gonna get crazy with you eventually. And you break my brain like no other. I just gotta rewatch your scenes again. I gotta give your scenes another pass. You talking to Araragi, I gotta give another pass. At the end of, Oni Monogatari, I think it was. I gotta rewatch parts of Hana Monogatari to see how that conversation with Kambaru went. I mean, you were, like, backwards biking on the bike. You were, like, talking about Hachikuji, which is just mean at that point. I don't know if that was nefarious, though. I just don't know. I don't know who you are. You know? Ogi, Ogi, Ogi. Shmogi, Wogi, Dogi. Fogi, Shlogi, Wogi. Do you beat Numachi? I almost want to say no. My reason being that Ogi is like Numachi's had like that a complete arc in a lot of ways. Whereas Ogi has mostly just been throwing problems at us and being like somewhat truthful and like straightforward, but also seems very vague in a lot of ways. So I'm like, my read on Ogi is so dim that I don't really want to put them above Numachi. And then like but like Sengoku, like I'll let you beat Sengoku, that's fine. Kage Nui, I think Kage Nui is like one of the like more like, I think Kage Nui is like, I don't really mess with Kage Nui. I like barely remember that, right? Like Kage Nui's like barely shown up, I feel like. Compare her to Kaiki and Oshino, right? Like it's no contest that she's the bottom of those, right? And like Ononoki gets like 10 times the screen time. I almost even want to rewatch your stuff just to make sure I'm not hoeing you. Like I low key want to put you in meh. I think I will, because it's just like I don't know what you do. Like I don't know, you showed up and you made some moves and we fought, like Araragi and you fought, but that doesn't quite like super pog in my mind. Maybe I'll give you, I'll have you top of May, I think. Oh, this is the Bake ED, I think that's playing. Very fun. No one's actively bad, though. There's no bad characters, you know? Like, even the mech characters are like, other than Higasa, really. Like, these two, I could so easily see jump up 2 tiers. Like, give them, like, an arc and they're there. Or give them, like, a significant amount of screen time in an arc. Oh, they're there, you know? It's that easy. Tsukihi, I think he's just, like, right below Karen. I think that's fine. I really don't even have much to say on Tsukihi. You cut Sengoku's bangs. That was kind of crazy. Karen being like the leading figure of the relationship really makes like her take a lot of the credit for like the cool stuff that's going on. And like how that ties to Araragi. Whereas Tsukihi seems to be somewhat more just along for the ride. And you could get into some of the cool stuff with like her being an oddity, you know, the whole Tsukihi Phoenix thing. But that was just kind of like, it was kind of one and done, it felt like. Which is similar to Karen, but I liked Karen's arc more, if I remember right. Whew, so much in this show, so much to remember. Black Hanakawa, Kanbaru, and Hanakawa. Black Hanakawa versus Hanakawa. Let's do Kombaru first. I feel like we can pair these two together in a way. So Kombaru first. Kombaru, climb, 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 climb. I think I really repressed anger, the monkey paw, Numachi. I mean that's Kombaru classic right there. Oh, Kombaru like being so happy that her arm's back and like crying about it and like softly crying to herself that she's like so happy to have it back. That was such a good moment too. Hana was so I really liked Hana, man. Like randomly. I felt like, you know, it just had so many good moments out of nowhere, despite being kind of disconnected from so much of what else is going on. Still slapped. And, like, is it really that disconnected, you know what I mean? Like, it's disconnected in, like, a lot of the plot because it's a jump forward, but, like, thematically it still slaps, you know? And that's the wavelength that your boy's been on. So, yeah, Kombaru versus Shinobu. I kind of want to give it to Hara. Like, I think Shinobu is someone that I'm, like, more excited to see. But I think Kombaru has had harder-hitting emotional moments. Just because of Hana. Like, Hana really got me emotionally, you know? And so in that way, I almost want to drop Shinobu. But then I feel like I'm doing Shinobu too dirty because I really do like Shinobu a lot. Like, I low-key almost want to make another tier. Like, the split between Shinobu and Numa... Well, I don't know. No, I like these tiers. Kombaru versus Shinobu. Yeah, I think I'm comfortable with that. Shinobu just doesn't... How do I want to say this? The, like, more emotional, like, Shinobu moments never, like, super hit me as hard as, like, the more emotional Kombaru moments. Kombaru moments hit me, like, a significant amount harder. And, like, when I'm saying Shinobu moments, I'm talking about, like, her and Araragi, like, holding hands, or, like, her and Araragi, like, kissing, though that was not a super serious emotional moment. Her and Araragi and, the time travel, I think that was... Which one was that? Kabuki Monogatari? Like, there was some fun stuff there, but it never really, like, super slapped. With, like, being like, oh, like, Araragi and Shinobu. Like, I like the Araragi and Shinobu ideas a lot. But they haven't, like, invested and reeled me in as much as I think some of the other, like, as, like, Kombaru's did. And Kombaru's where it was, like, almost, like, more disconnected from the story and hit me harder, where Shinobu's a lot more part of the story, but it kind of hits me less in contrast. Both of them beat Numachi, though. Sorry, Numachi. Yeah, screen time diff. Literally screen time diff. Okay, Black Hanakawa and Hanakawa. It almost feels wrong to do them separate. Because considering the where we've left Hanakawa off, she's, you know, in become one with Black Hanakawa. I guess, like, Black Hanakawa is just themes of, like, repression, like, perfection and, like, purity to the point of, like, purity to the point of creating something impure. I mean, that just slaps, right? So I almost want to say, man, and the letter, remember the letter to Black Hanakawa? So good. I almost want to put you, like, here, Black Hanakawa, because the reason I like Black Hanakawa is because of Hanakawa, right? Everything that Hanakawa represents, Black Hanakawa, like, is the culmination of. The thing, okay, so, do I like her there? Like, right below Ogi? Maybe, like, right above Ogi. Nah, well... Yeah, I'll put her right above Ogi. I think she loses to Numachi, though, because she's so tied to normal, like, to Hanakawa, that it, you know, who's even to say? Hanakawa. Oh, my darling. I almost want to say that you're the best character in the show. Is that wrong of me? Hachi lovers in shambles. Is it true? Could it be? It's dude. Tsubasa Tiger was so good. Okay, and seeing her afterward, like dealing with Kaiki and her saying I only know what I know and it hitting even harder because now it really like that's so good. Tsubasa Tiger hit so hard. Which self will I be today is like maybe my favorite line of the entire show. I mean, straight slammers. The multicolored hair, her being like a mix of the black and the white, a form of gray now, and being comfortable in that, right? Like integrating the shadow, integrating Black Hanakawa, integrating the tiger, the tyranny tiger, I think is the one translation of it. Like that goes so hard. It's almost unimaginable, right? And she's cute and adorable, and I like her personality. Like she also clears and sweeps in those regards. Her conversation with Kaiki, where Kaiki's like confronted with somebody that's so self-confident and like so self-assured that he's like, oh dang, that's kind of crazy. Like that even just hits so hard. The wanderlust ideas are so fun. I love a good wanderlust. I mean, she's frick. But saying goodbye to the inner child though. Hanakawa is better as an individual character. Hachikuji, where Hachikuji shines is as a analogy for the inner child. Whereas, like, Hachikuji, to me, what I love about her, I love her character, but I love more so what her character represents and what her character is. Whereas with Hanakawa, her character and her character's journey into becoming who the character became, it's like different, right? Like I love Hanakawa's like character arc, whereas Hachikuji, I love like her character on like a entirely different level than a character, and I love her as a character. But yeah, oh, man, it's hard to say. Both beat Kaiki, I think. I think I can have both beat Kaiki. Like it's either this or it's this. I just love Hachikuji. But then Hanakawa, it's like I love like the there's the part of my brain that goes like, oh, Hachikuji, like that's like so fun. Like Hachikuji's so fun, but Hanakawa is like that's what's right. That's what we're going for. That's what the culmination of this all will be. This is someone who's grown up, who's become comfortable with themselves, who's, and that is like, whereas for Hachikuji, her position in like the grand arc of the story as the necessary goodbye of the inner child contrasts Hanakawa, who seems to be someone that represents in growing up, like she's grown up now in a lot of ways. Hachikuji's like a necessary byproduct of growing up, or a necessary forfeiture that happens when you grow up, whereas Hanakawa, we actually get to see the process of growing up in a very satisfying way. So which of them... Man, I'm going to give it to Hanakawa. My reason is that Tsubasa Tiger was so wonderfully, wonderfully good, and hit me so hard. And I think it just hit me a little harder than watching Hachikuji say goodbye. Yeah. And I think the reason of that may be that like Tsubasa Tiger, like Hachikuji saying goodbye was something that kind of hit us out of nowhere at the end. Like that was the twist. So like the emotions, like I was also like, holy crap, like what's even happening? And so, whereas with Tsubasa Tiger, like it emotionally built up to where it was going, like very, not like predictably as much as like we could feel that coming, as opposed to it kind of coming out of nowhere. So I had the time for investment more. Yeah, I think this is good. I think this is a good list. Hanakawa, shout out the gray Hanakawa, love to see it. Hachikuji, Kaiki, Araragi. Araragi, like I've said before, I'll just say it one more time. Araragi could very well end here. I think this is a very realistic end for Araragi and in the story. But right now I'm just going to have him as the bottom of best character because there's so many unanswered questions. I don't know. It's hard to know how satisfying the ending's going to be. Sanjigahara versus Kombaru. Do I really have Senjugahara in 5th? That seems high, but it also almost seems right. I mean, Senjugahara versus Shinobu. I gotta give it to Senjugahara. Senjugahara versus Kombaru? Oh, I'm giving it to Senjugahara any day of the week. Kombaru versus Shinobu. I think I can give it to Kombaru, though this is very close. This is really, really tough here. Get out of here, fly. Get out of here, fruit fly. There's no fruit for you. Numachi I feel good about. Black Hanakawa I feel fine about. Ogi I feel okay about. Sengoku I feel good about. Sorry, the music playing is the sound that played with the flashing stuff at the beginning of the episodes in Bake. So that actually was giving me flashbacks. Holy crap. Yeah, and I think I feel good about the rest of this. Woo! Okay. Character tier list. Do we want to compare? Let's compare it now. So I'm going to boom. Right here. So last time. Wow. Wait, did I really? Who did I put in first last time? Did I put Shinobu in first? Wow. That's crazy to me. I put Shinobu in first? Wow, yeah. What did I watch? I had watched Bake, Kizu, Nisei. Yeah, I mean Hachikuji. Well, but man, I guess I came to a new appreciation of the Hachikuji talk in Nisei after Hachikuji left. I feel like Hachikuji grew on me a lot. Like, I liked Hachikuji from the start, but it went like a layer deeper. I think this is what happened. I think all of these characters moved up, except Shinobu didn't move up a ton. And that's why she kind of got, like, left behind a little bit. Yeah, so good on me for putting Araragi pretty high. I think this is good. Hanakawa and Kaiki in D tier is crazy. I mean, I guess it is what it is, but they've had the biggest move up. Karen fell a little bit, Kombaru rose, Oshino kind of stayed. Sengoku moved up a little bit. Kage Nui was low, stayed low for me. Episode stayed in about the same spot. Ononoki got a little bit higher. Dang, Shinobu in first. I really said Shinobu in first. I didn't think that. I didn't remember it like that. That's crazy. Huh. I guess it makes sense. I mean, End of Kizu really started to make sense for me. Kizu was a struggle for me, I'm not gonna lie, but End of Kizu really made it happen. I felt, man, rewatching rewatch value goes hard, let me just say. It's crazy that this was post the bath scene, too. The freaking bath scene. That was like, wait, I'm looking at my lengths of the videos right now. That was like the longest video up until when? Holy crap. That was the longest individual until like Hana Monogatari and Otori Monogatari. The bath episode. Other than the movies. Yeah, the movies don't count. But until the end of Hana Monogatari, it was the longest video. That's really funny. Yeah. What a time. What a time. Okay. Waifu time. I have no idea how this is going to happen. Let's do a little reset. Bing. Best waifu. Really, wait. Really spicy, not gonna lie. Good pick. Bad pick. Or like meh. Let's say meh pick. And then, no, thank you. Perfect. Okay. This is gonna be hard. Let me do a little bit of a scramble. Like maybe that. You want to do Ogi last? Okay, why not? Episode. My music paused? Okay. Nichiyobi. Started Nichiyobi. 3, 2, 1, bang. Oops. Okay, back. Episode. What do I do with you? He's a blonde femboy value. Give it a meh pick. Not a good pick, because he's due to be kind of a psycho, but I think maybe the psycho thing was exaggerated by Araragi in the telling of Kizu, so I think I can give him a meh pick. I mean, mercenary, blonde, femboy vampire? That sounds kind of pog, right? Wait, I can't do Hanakawa now. Let's save Hanakawa for later. Kage Nui? Oh boy, meh. Not a no, but like, You're just so violent, you know? Karen, no. Numachi? I really like Numachi. I feel like I would love to get to know Numachi. You know? She's probably gonna pop off on the best friends tier list. I think I might even give her like a... I don't like the word spicy here. Really solid and pogged, not gonna lie. I think I can give Numachi a really solid and pogged, not gonna lie. I really liked Numachi. And I don't know how to feel about this, but I always get very emotionally invested in a character that has, like, gone into really dark headspaces. But especially one that hasn't spiraled as much as still almost retains, like, a tiredness to it. Where it's like they've been weighed down by the world and by their experiences within the world. Those are characters that I always get like very emotionally invested in. And Numachi is a character that's like that, you know, where she, you know, was weighed down by the world to the point of suicide, and then henceforth, right, did her whole like misery gathering, right? So in that way, like, I'm very, I don't know. I feel like, and this is so weird, I feel like about, like, with compared to everybody in the show, I'm looking at this list of everybody's characters, all these different characters, right? I feel like when I look at Numachi, I, like, see myself the most. And I don't know what that means. It's more something that I feel like emotionally and intuitively rather than something I could piece together logically. But yeah, like, she just sinks together with, like, I think my being very well. So it's kind of funny this is a waifu list and I'm getting all, like, it, you know, whatever this is with Numachi. But yeah, Oshino's hot, swagger, a dude, so meh, but respectable. I'm down with any Oshino lovers. Hey, good choice. Shinobu, uh-oh. Oh no. I'm pretty sure I put her in no thank you on the last tier list, and so I really don't want to put her higher, because then it's like admitting that I've been changed. But, but also, like, it's not that I'm like, oh, no, please. It's like a soulmate thing, you know? Like, her and Araragi are like soulmates. And it's like on a level that's like deeper than any sort of like romantic waifu thing. Or like any sort of like sexual romantic thing. But like, who's to say that, like, I know, like she's like a life partner. And that seems very waifu to me, right? As, like, even if it doesn't have a romantic or sexual thing necessarily, though they do play with those ideas with the whole vampirism part, which I talked about in Kizu very loosely, if I remember. But, like, so in that way, like, I kind of want, you know, like, life partner type thing. Oh no, what have I done? It's not, like, we're good, right? We're chilling? Oh, jeez. Is this a speak your truth moment? I don't know what my truth is. It's one of these, I think. I'm not gonna do her this dirty. I've grown. I'm admitting this much. She at least is a meh pick because of the whole life partner, but like in a intimate, broken pieces fit together, like bonded, shared trauma type of way. But she's also has a fun personality. Kamaru, okay. Where do I put you? She's like, well, she's lesbian, right? So that's already a little bit of a like, I'm not like, I'm a dude. So L. I respect anyone that's like going that like is feeling confident in that kind of way. But, like, I don't know if that's my type. I don't know if, like, that's sporty athletics. I think I like sporty athletic. Um, but tomboyish, not so much. I've never been a tomboy lover, and she's definitely goes into the tomboy territory a lot. Um, and so in that way, but like, does she beat Shinobu? I think she can beat Shinobu because after Hana, like I've become a lot more like, I feel like I've understood her a lot better emotionally, and with that understanding has come like a newfound appreciation. And so I can have her beat Shinobu, I think. But she doesn't beat Numachi. Yeah. Kiss Shot, by the way, is like probably really solid and pogged. Or maybe best waifu, we'll see. Just throwing that out there. Because obviously, like the whole, like if she was in the Kiss Shot body, it's like boom, like it's that easy, right? But like, you know, she ain't in the Kiss Shot body. Or like the wasn't there like the one right before the Kiss Shot body? That one was pretty. I think she was like, I don't remember what her age was there. Maybe like was it 19? I want to say it was 19. I remember there was a list of like what her different ages were at the different stages. Pretty much like it goes up the more matured she looks, and then kind of plateaus at that second to last stage right before Kiss Shot. This is probably what my play would be there. But yeah. Should I change this to acceptable? No, I think good pick's fine. Okay. Tsukihi, no. Adult Hachikuji, I think that's just a hard no. It's literally a copium of your inner child growing up where it destroys the world, and I couldn't ever see Hachikuji. I see Hachikuji as the manifestation of the inner child, and I would never want to waifuicize the inner child. And so adult Hachikuji, I'm not going to do it for. It just doesn't feel right. It doesn't feel right. Black Hanakawa, Crazy Cat Girl. I mean, definitely a good pick above Kombaru. I mean, beats Kombaru. Easy clap. Dang, I got the pondering music playing now. This sounds like Animal Crossing. A little bit. Okay. Black Hanakawa, Black Hanakawa, Black Hanakawa, Black Hanakawa. Do you beat Numachi? No, because Numachi, like, you're crazy, right? Black Hanakawa is, like, actually... Oh, energy drain, too. Like, she'll energy drain you. She's crazy, but also Hot Cat Girl. I think she's good as a good pick. I don't think I could put her into really solid because of too many debuffs from being straight up an oddity. Higasa, you were like cute popular girl archetype, right? I think I remember having like popular girl archetype. I've always been a hoe for the popular girl archetype. So I think you just go right above... I think I literally just dragged her in this perfect spot. I think she beats Kombaru because Tomboy I've never really been into. Popular girl... Yeah, I like it. And then Black Hanakawa, Cat Girl. You can't beat a straight up Cat Girl. And Hanakawa has more to work with in certain ways. I'm sorry. Gaon. Let's talk Gaon. Wait, does Kage Nui beat Episode and Oshino? I think Episode beats Oshino. Now that we got a new perspective on Oshino a little bit, I think Kage Nui just so isn't my type. So I think Kage Nui stays there. Gaon is just so annoying and like has a condescending thing. But I also like a girl that has like a huge position of power, and Gaon definitely has that. You know? Like, yeah, like a top tier balancer. Oh, yeah. Like, now we're cooking with gas. But also, in terms of personality and how she looks, it doesn't quite smack. So maybe she's just the queen of Mepik? Mepik? Who's to say? Hachikuji Mayoi no Bai. That's the name of the song. Okay, Senjugahara? I think she's really solid in Pog, I'm not gonna lie. Now that we've seen more of her, it's grown on me, okay? Like, now that we've seen her vulnerable side more, she's grown a lot more on me. That's all it really takes. Just show me you're vulnerable. I like vulnerability, you know? I think vulnerability is, like, such a important and, like, beautiful part of a relationship that's, like, intimate. And, like, a romantic relationship, in my mind, is usually a very intimate relationship. So... Senjugahara, like, showing that and, like, being willing to bring that out and, like, feeling those emotions has, like, moved her up substantially as opposed to being more brick wall. And she do be getting freaky with Araragi, So we love that. Yeah, I think I like that. Versus Numachi. I'm gonna give it to Numachi. And Numachi just speaks to me on a level that's different. Not even like on a waifu thing, as I've said, but like on like a spiritual level. I feel like Numachi has an understanding that I couldn't put into words, but that I also feel, you know? Yeah. Kaiki. Daddy Kaiki. Of the men, where do you fall? I'm just not into like a 40-year-old guy that still has feelings for his dead girl that also was hooked up with, that was also a married woman to another man. Like, you know what I mean? He's probably, I think I can give him a med pick. Just kind of for the meme of the husbando Kaiki thing. But, I mean, Oshino in episode just got the dub on him. It is what it is. It truly is what it is. Bro, why is my leg getting all sore? Hey. Stop. Araragi. Is that the case? Would I really put Araragi in good pick? I think I can have him be the king of meh pick, honestly. I think I like... Well... Waifu for me. It's a waifu for me. It's a waifu for me. Araragi. Hey, what's good, man? Oh, hey, what's good? Yeah, I'm not feeling much, okay? Beats Kaiki. Maybe should I drop these bottom three from Mepic? Like this, maybe? Maybe I can order this being like that. I think I can order no thank you somewhat and have that be good. Okay, Hachikuji. As I've said, she's the inner child to me, and I would not want to, you know, like waifu-size, romanticize, whatever the inner child, like all those concepts. I love so much about her character. You know, it is what it is. Yeah, and I feel like even her kiss with Araragi was less of a romantic thing, but more of just a deeply personal thing, you know, if you were to try to pull that as like a piece of evidence. Yeah. Sengoku's a middle schooler. Period. It's over. GG. Ononoki, just no. It's just not gonna happen. You're like an animated corpse in a sense, you know, and you're so like flat in terms of your personality. Yeah. Ogi. I think I could put Ogi in good pick. I think Ogi beats Gaon. I am very intrigued about Ogi, and Ogi kind of feels like they would, I don't know, like manipulate and play with you in such a way that would, destroy you, but it would be such a good destruction. You know what I mean? Yeah, I'll let your imagination take care of the rest on that one, okay? And look at this. There's one slot left, and there's one character left. Oh, it's beautiful. Hanakawa easily takes best waifu. It is what it is. She's literally so put together. She knows what she wants. She's comfortable in her own body. She's also integrated with her, like, shadow self, in a sense, right? She's not just naive. She's not just, like, all accepting. She also is, like, conventionally attractive. She's literally got it all. She's literally got it all. She's the best one. Easy clap. Okay. Do we need to move around any bit? Hanakawa as top dog. I am so happy with that. Numachi in second. I think I like Sanjigahara in second. Third, I mean, I think I like that. I think I like these top two tiers a lot. Good pick, Black Hanakawa versus Higasa. Yeah. Catgirl. Crazy. Give it to Higasa. Gotta, listen. Crazy Catgirl is good, but it's too crazy. You know? Higasa at least isn't crazy, and she's just, like, probably thinks she's better than me. Popular girl archetype. I can work with that. Kanbaru. Tomboy beats or beats Shinobu, I think is fine. Shinobu, I'm just leaving there in the middle. Shinobu versus Ogi, I think I can give that to Shinobu. I don't know. Ogi got me feeling a little bit some kind of way. Just because it's like I don't know, it's like the fear of the unknown, but like it feels good to be afraid. Why does my nose get so itchy deep into recordings? This happens every time I get deep into a recording, man. Dang. Yeah, and then Gain, I think that's fine. Episode, I think that's fine. Oshino, I think that's fine. Okay. Easy. Okay, what'd I do last time? Okay, last time it was Kiss Shot Tier at the top, then Hanakawa, Black Hanakawa, Kambaru, Kagenui, Senjugahara. Senjugahara moved up a lot. And then it was episode in C and everybody else and not my type. So, who escaped from not my type? Was it just Shinobu? Okay, it was just Shinobu. I'm fine with that. I'll take that. We take those. Okay? We take those. If one was going to escape, I'm fine with it being Shinobu. That's the best case scenario of any of them escaping. Senjugahara, good on you for moving up so much. Okay. Best friend list. Final one. Forever. Would love to be your friend. A good friend. Meh friend. Bad end. Bet. Okay. Episode. Meh. You're literally bounty hunter. I feel like you're kind of a dick, but like, you know what? I feel like he'd be fun to hang out with like every once in a while, maybe like in a group. Gain. I feel like Gain's a bad friend. I feel like she's just the worst. I feel like she's a know-it-all. And would annoy me. I think she just annoys the people around her. That's just how she is. Yeah. This song, I don't remember the song. It's like a circus song or something. Okay, Hanakawa, I'd love to be your friend. You're so fun. Maybe I would drop you. Let's keep you here. I'm willing to let it move. Just because she's so put together and so sweet, you know, and smart. I like the intellectual. It'd be so fun to like just sit down and have a conversation with her. Senjugahara, a good friend. I think the parts of her personality, the vulnerability that I really like wouldn't come out to close friends as much as it would come out to a romantic partner. So I think a good friend, I'll keep her there. That would be my take on that. Kagenui, you're just violent. But I don't want to judge you too much. It's not like you're meh. Kaiki, he would scam you. A good friend. Oh man, he'd be so fun to have a conversation with, but he's also just Kaiki, you know? Like, I appreciate it. I respect the guy. I'll put him in a good friend. I respect the guy. I feel like he would end up hoeing me in some way, though, you know? He's independent in a way, but also so codependent. But also that's, I think, what drives him to try to be so independent, which I think would, you know, cause fissures. Karen... it's crazy because it's the toothbrush image, so it's like, no, that's not the kind of friends we're talking about. I guess I'm fine with Karen. She seems like a fine kid, just doing her thing. Araragi, I would love to have a conversation with Araragi. Hachikuji, that's my girl, Hachikuji. Sengoku, you're kind of annoying. Yeah. You beat episode, though. Numachi, I really want to sit down and talk to Numachi. These top four are super unstable. Ononoki... Continuing. Dude, Ononoki's personality. Could you imagine trying to talk with that? It is what it is. Oshino, you're a cool guy. I'll have you be, I think, the top dog of a good friend. Ogi, you're a menace. You're a problem. I don't even know what kind of... You would hurt me. You're bad. You're evil. I do not trust you. You're a rat. And I love a good rat, but you're a rat. Put someone interesting in last place. Don't put Higasa in last. Let's do Higasa. Higasa, I don't know you that well. I'll just put you in top of meh friend. You're kind of like a nice neutral spot. Kambaru, it'd be fun to hang out with. She'd be a lot of fun to hang out with. She's got such a fun personality, such fun energy. Yeah. She just brings good energy, you know? She's a team player in that way. Shout out a basketball team. Tsukihi. Karen's more interesting. Adult Hachikuji. It feels weird to put Adult Hachikuji in here. In this list specifically. Just because, like, she's like a very specific variation of Hachikuji. And most of what I understand Hachikuji to be is, like, what makes adult Hachikuji, like, not work, which is part of the point. Let's put you in Would Love to Be Your Friend. Above Kombaru. I think I'm good with that. Bad Hanakawa, you're literally gonna energy drain me. So, let's put you right below Higasa. And then Shinobu... It's funny. She has good energy. Okay. Now we need to untangle this mess. Who gets to be in top tier? I think these are our contestants for top tier. It's these 4. Let's hold on that for a second. Would Love to Be Your Friend. We have Shinobu, Kombaru, Adult Hachikuji. Shinobu is funny, smart, vampire. Donuts, Mr. Donut. Go and eat donuts. Wonderful. You already know what you're going to do if you're going to hang out. You're going to go eat donuts. Kombaru seems like a lot of fun to hang out with. Just fun person. So I think Kombaru beats Shinobu. I'll even say both beat Adult Hachikuji because Adult Hachikuji low-key doesn't exist. So yeah. Behind that, Oshino, I feel like he'd be fun to, like, get high with. Didn't I say that last time? I just got deja vu. He'd be fun to get high with, but that's, like, you know, he's just so chill. He's so chill, and chill's good, but we need to bring some energy to the table, right? Okay, let's go, and then, well, let me continue. Senjugahara below Oshino's fine, above Kaiki is fine. Kaiki would just scam you. He'd be really fun to talk to, but, like, he'd be hard to keep in contact with. Karen, I think, is fun. Tsukihi, Higasa feels good. Higasa's kind of the splitting point between, like, positive and, like, starting to teeter into negative, where Black Hanakawa is, like, a problem. Sengoku is obviously kind of crazy. Yeah, let's drop Sengoku. Sengoku's honestly bad end. Gon's, like, super annoying, though. Yeah, wait, let's drop Sengoku. I think Gon's better than Sengoku. Ogi, I think, is better. I think Ogi I can give the top dog to. Because Ogi would be fun to have a conversation with, but I know Ogi's going to cause me issues. Gon is not fun to do a conversation with, but I trust Gon to not cause me issues. Wait, so maybe like this then. No, but you are going to cause me some issues, but they're probably for the best good, the greatest good. Oh, Gon. What even are you? Okay, let's figure out the top dogs. Araragi, I don't think is top dog. I think he's I think he's, like, right below Kombaru. Because he is he's kind of such a best that, like, he's, like, he's so fun. He's very fun as a character, but actually getting to know him in person would be so, like, would be tough, right? Because of how much of a mess he is. In such a way that I'll even drop him below Shinobu. In Adult Hachikuji, but I've come to really appreciate, like, his character and, like, his emotional state and his mentality in the world, so I would still love to be his friend. Just so I could, like, continue to understand the guy. Best friends forever, I think these 3 feel pretty good. Ranking them is, like, criminally hard. Numachi, I feel like I just connect with. I think I'll keep Numachi on the bottom because of A, screen time, and B, like, the whole, like, moving on aspect of Numachi, you know, that that she moved on was, like, she's kind of gone in a sense, so it's kind of weird to even think about befriending that situation. But I did just really like Numachi's personality. More so just taking it like baseline personality. I think she deserves a spot there. Hachikuji versus Hanakawa. Who would be more fun to banter with? I mean, Hachikuji's more fun to banter with, but Hanakawa's more fun to have like an intellectual conversation with. You know? And which do I value more? Banter? Well, but no, Hachikuji also got that intellectual. I think Hanakawa's got her beat in the intellectual, like, conversation, but Hachikuji got her beat in the fun banter. In terms of, oh, but the inner child, but I have to let you go, Hachikuji. I have to let you go, you know? Man, I just so respect Hanakawa for being so put together, though. Right? Like, she knows herself. She's comfortable in her skin. And being around people that, like, are confident, I feel like is a good way to, like, raise you up, you know? Being around people that are, like, self-assured, I think is a good way to, like, a good role model and a good person to have in your network. Because your network is your net worth. You ever heard it? That sounds like something Hachikuji would say, low-key. Doesn't it? With the whole, like, money talk? Araragi, your network is your net worth. Yeah. Maybe I do this, and then maybe I, like, don't decide between the two, between Hachikuji and Hanakawa, because I feel like no, I want to give you a spot, Numachi. I just really like you, Numachi. You're so much fun. Numachi and I totally, like, I resonate with Numachi so much. Hachikuji's so fun energy. She'll bite me, though. Hanakawa ain't gonna bite me. That's what Black Hanakawa does. Hanakawa ain't gonna bite me. I think Hanakawa. I think I can give it to Hanakawa. Well, maybe I give it to Hanakawa purely because Hanakawa is like an adult as opposed to the ghost of a like a 13-year-old ghost of a 13-year-old dead child, which you can, like, you know, add up however you try to do your math, you know. Whereas Hanakawa's like an adult, or like she's like 18 probably, right? 17, 18 age. So like that, like, makes more sense, you know, is like more grounded and realistic, but that's kind of a weird angle to take in ranking Monogatari people. I'll be like, oh, you're more grounded, so you know, that makes you more applicable. Oh, it's so tough. It's so difficult. I don't know if I can. Maybe I just leave it. Maybe I just let go. Right? Like, surely. Because it's too much. It's good. Hanakawa. I get to sit down and I get to go and I have a lunch with one of these characters platonically. Who is it? Kaiki. And by that I mean Hanakawa, right? She'd just be so fun to talk to, bro. She'd be so sweet, right? She has such positive energy. Hachikuji has more of like a gremlin, like chaotic energy that's like also positive. But like Hanakawa has like such a pure energy, but then it's become even better in that she incorporates the darkness, because like the purest human experience is one that incorporates the darkness, right? And I'm here to get human with it, right? I think I'm good with this. I think I like this. These are really close. Really close. Really close. Yeah. I think I like this. So I'm scanning. Yeah, okay, let's look at what I did last time. Okay, so last time... Whoa! Whoa, this is kind of crazy. Wait, click a little deeper in. Did I change it at all? No, that's me doing the outro. Okay. We did Hachikuji, then Shinobu, then Konburu, then Hanakawa, then Karen Tsukihi? Wait, I put Karen Tsukihi above Oshino? Araragi way down there in B tier? Kaiki in C? Well, I mean, Kaiki kind of scammed me. Get away from me, your monster, Ononoki. Ononoki, hey, Ononoki comfortable down there at the bottom. It is what it is. Yeah, wow. Okay, so Hanakawa and Numachi jumped to the top. Shinobu didn't really move. I feel like Kambaru moved up a bit because I've the seeing Kambaru's emotional side, really helped out around her character. Araragi moved up a pretty substantial amount. I've grown to like Araragi a lot more as we've gone on. And then Ononoki, do I really have Ononoki at the very bottom? I think I do. I mean, Guillotine Cutter and Dramaturgy are like below, like they would be here and here. But Ononoki really hasn't moved. I would not get along with Ononoki in real life. I would just be like, what even? I would think that they're a mechanical puppet, like an automaton, Automaton Ononoki. And like, I'm not trying to get like it's like an AI, bro. But like not like a good one that like can trick you into thinking it's real, but like she's so robotic, and I'm not trying to get robotic with that. Dang, okay. I think we've done it. Whoo! Cheers to that. Okay, that was a good list. Good listing. Do of course share your any of your lists in the comments or anything of the sort. I would love to look through like different people's opinions of these different characters in whatever, as a character, as a waifu, as a friend, that kind of thing. I'm totally like, I would love to hear the other people, especially because we've like, and this is like almost reverse parasocial. Don't get parasocial. Right? Be careful, because that's like a thing. But like seeing the same commenters over and over, because that has kind of been a thing. Like I've seen a couple, there's a good repeat commenters that like show up a lot. So like I can actually kind of put like different rankings to like different like personalities that I know through the comments, which is kind of fun. I don't know, just a random thought. That's like weirdly like a reverse parasocial kind of thing. It's fine. We're healthy. Everything's fine. I'm your best friend. No. Hachikuji's your best friend. There we go. Much better. Much less parasocial. Make it into an anime character instead. That's good. That's healthy. Okay. Yeah, I think that's all I got though for this. Ooh, wait. How deep? We made it 49 into the 70 of the playlist of the Bake Monogatari playlist. That's kind of fun. That's kind of exciting. Dang. Okay. Well, I think that's all I got for this tier list though. I do want to eventually, like I said at the beginning, do a OP/ED tier list. That's probably gonna take me a really long time because I'll have to be watching them over and over. And a arc tier list. I think I want to do that at the very end of the series because I feel like it would just mostly be a repeat. If I were to do it like now and then again later, I feel like the one again later wouldn't really change much. Whereas the characters I think are a lot more shifting because they get times in different arcs and how they, so we get to see them move up and down a lot more. But yeah, so that's something to look forward to, though we got a lot more Monogatari to be watching before we hit that point. But yeah, I think that's all I got for this tier list of Monogatari, the post-Koi? We just watched Koi, right? The post-Koi Monogatari character tier list for Monogatari. Very, very, very exciting. Of course, if you like the video. Subscribe if you're new, blah, blah, blah. Comment below if or join the Discord and talk to other Monogatari fans there. Do really appreciate people if you stuck through a large chunk of this. I'm amazed, personally, and I'm proud. Because and this isn't a bad thing. And I think I talked about this a little bit last time. Whenever I click on people's tier list videos and I just skip to the end and I skip to the end and I skip to the end. If you're one of the end skippers, hey, welcome aboard, end skipper. I'm one of you. Totally get it. But yeah, so I just do really appreciate the people that, I don't know, feeling appreciative. Let me feel appreciative in peace. But yeah, that's all I really got for this episode. Tier list, post-Koi of Monogatari. Until next, I'll be seeing you then. Peace.